This is Caitlin, your host of the No Sleep for Dramas podcast, where we get no sleep and survive on coffee to watch just one more episode at night. Hello, and welcome back to another episode on the No Sleep for Dramas podcast. I'm your host, Caitlin, and this is the last watch list episode of the year. I can't believe I'm saying this. We are in the middle of December. I can't believe 2025 is about to end. I can and I can't, because this year has been the slowest year of my life, but also the fastest year of my life, especially the second half. We are back today with another watch list episode. As you guys all know, in November, I cleared out my watch list for the most part. There are some repeats on this list, but I started a bunch of new dramas just to have something to talk about in this episode. A lot of these dramas I'm going to be talking about, have been talked a lot this year in 2025. I tried to click on some dramas that I should have watched when they were first airing, or when people were talking about them, and also I clicked on them because they're short and I could possibly finish a lot of them and get my number up by the end of the year. I'm going to be introducing a lot of new dramas though this episode because I have never talked about them on the podcast before. Maybe I mentioned the title or so, but I've never talked them in length. They're mostly Japanese dramas. There's one that is not a Japanese drama. Also, I wouldn't be overwhelmed in January if some of them weren't completed by the end of the year because they're anywhere between 6 to 10 episodes long. I can finish the rest of them up in January. Let's get into this watch list. If you do not know the format of this episode, I go through everything I'm watching. I tell you if it's on the back burner, if I'm currently enjoying it, if I have watched more of it, if I started it new. It's K-dramas, then it's variety show, then it's C-dramas, then it's a Chinese variety show if I'm watching any, then it's J-dramas, anime, Japanese variety shows. Anything from Taiwanese is next, and then Thai is last in the Asian dramas department. And then if I'm watching anything like a Western show or from any country that's not those 5 Asian dramas, those will be at the very end. Following that order, we are going to talk about the Korean dramas I'm watching. I am currently only watching one, and watchings is not the right term because this is the daily drama A Graceful Liar that I started back in October. I think it started airing in September and I waited until October to start it. I've only watched like the first episode, maybe the first 2 episodes of this, and then it got put on the back burner because I was trying to get other stuff off my watch list in November. And at this point, I kind of have just decided I'm going to save it until January and basically restart it in January and just use the entire year to watch this. This will be my 100-episode daily Makjan drama that I try to at least watch one a year. This will be it. The first episode was bonkers. You can go over to my social media and I'll give you a whole description of what that is, what happened in the first opening 3 scenes between somebody getting arrested to somebody possibly marrying into a family where her mother was the stepmother to the main female lead taking on a whole new identity, so on and so forth. It's your typical daily 100-episode Makjan drama, and that's why I love them so much. But yeah, I'm not gonna continue watching this until January, so I can get some other stuff off my watch list, because even if I attempted to just like binge this, it's not even done until February anyway. I feel like might as well put my efforts into something else to complete it and get it off my current watch list before 2026 comes around. That is the only Korean drama I am currently watching and probably will still be only currently watching until January. All right, next up is a Korean variety show. I have talked about this show in length, so I'm really not going to mention or talk about a lot of it. It is one of those shows I think I'm just going to continue watching and will mention probably every watch list episode because 1, I'm behind on it, and 2, it doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon. So even if I was caught up, it seems to just be spitting out new episodes after new episodes. Like they keep bumping up the number of episodes. It went from 30 to 45, now it's up to 60, and I would not be surprised if they increase that even more. And that is Please Take Care of My Refrigerator Season 2. As I said, I continue to watch the show. I kind of watch episodes here and there. I may need to start becoming a little more regimented in watching these because I'm very much behind on it. I don't even know. This is another one that kind of took a backseat in November because, again, it has new episodes coming out and has continued to have new episodes coming out. It's going to continue airing in 2026. I didn't see a reason to try and catch up other than to have like one episode a week to watch versus many, many, many episodes that I currently have to watch. It's not like I can binge it and complete it in December because it will have new episodes out in 2026. Still like the comedy, I still like the food and competition, still like the guests depending on the episode. So this, I think, will just be on my watch list, and I'll watch it here and there just to enjoy it. I don't see it really getting off my watch list anytime soon, and I'm okay with that because I still like this show. It's one of my favorite Korean variety shows ever. But that is everything I'm watching from Korea, a daily drama and a variety show. I don't think I've ever had. It is rare that I have not had a like 10, 12, 16 episode Korean drama on my current watch list. And right now, that is the case. Okay, next up, we're gonna go into C-drama land. I am currently watching two. One, again, was kind of put on the back burner in November because I didn't have to complete it until December, January. I didn't really feel like it took priority. That is Coroner's Diary. I am supposed to be recording an episode for a podcast on this in January/February. I will definitely be completing it in January. I plan to kind of watch more episodes in the rest of December just so I'm not binging 38, 37, 35, however many episodes I've already watched in January. It's doable. I've done it, of course, but maybe I'll watch some more episodes in December so I'm not binging the entirety of the drama in January. I liked what I've watched so far. I think the leads are doing great. I like their chemistry. It's definitely something I probably will love. The setup is something I usually gravitate towards. I do like the female lead, the actress in this, Landy Lee. Aru Pang, I don't know if I've ever watched him in a drama, if I remember correctly. He's good so far. I'm not that far into it, so I don't really have an opinion, because the story is kind of just kicking off. But I will say I do like their chemistry. There was a scene in episode 1 where I can't remember now if he's, like, fighting. I think he's fighting, and he's, like, fighting past her or he's going to catch her. I can't remember. And I loved the chemistry of them passing each other or, like, him going to catch her. I can't remember. I'll have to rewatch the scene. But either way, that chemistry in that scene was really good. I do like that. The female second lead, she will probably be one of my favorites in the drama as well. I can't wait to watch more of this and see their relationship grow, and the cases have been fun so far. There's a lot to love about Coroner's Diary. I can see why it's kind of like a, what is the term? In 2025, it was kind of a out of nowhere hit. No one really anticipated it being a hit, and I think it was absolutely a hit in 2025. I can see why a lot of people liked it a lot. That was Coroner's Diary. The other Chinese drama I'm watching is Medical Examiner Dr. Chin Silent Evidence. This is the one I am absolutely binging in December and trying to finish it before the end of the year. I think I've watched 5 episodes. This is the last of the Dr. Chin series I need to watch, and I did have a goal in 2025 to watch all of them in 2025. So I have this one to finish, and then I have 2 movies. And the goal is to, at minimum, if I do not finish anything else, I'm hoping I can finish some Japanese dramas. But if I don't finish anything else, at minimum, I need to finish this Chinese drama and the 2 movies. And then I'll be completely done with the series. And then I could do a podcast episode next year. That is why I'm basically going to be, quote unquote, dropping everything and binging this first before I dive into more of the Japanese dramas. Because I'm sure if I didn't do that, this would be on the back burner, and I don't want that to happen. I like the Silent Evidence Dr. Chin so far. I think there's definitely going to be romance thrown in. Could be done well, could not. I don't know. It hasn't really worked for me the other time Dr. Chin tried to throw romance into it when it's the leads. I don't know if the romance will happen, let alone be a good thing for me with this one. I do like it so far. Then the reason why I think there's going to be a romance is because it's another situation where it's not a bromance situation. One of the leads is a female. She's the female cop. And then there's the Dr. Chin male medical corner. We already have cohabitation. I'm assuming they're gonna start a romance eventually. I also am kind of sad because I don't see where a trio crime fighting team is gonna happen in this one. That is a selling point when it comes to the medical Dr. Chin series. So I'm hoping that will be rectified eventually. Because even in the last one I watched, the Mind Reader one, there was a crime fighting trio slash quartet eventually. I'm hoping a third person comes in. I mean, there is a trio. Currently, right now, it's a partner duo situation. There is a lot more comedy in the silent evidence drama than A, I assumed it was going to have, and B, compared to some of the earlier medical examiner and Dr. Chin, a lot more comedy, especially with the male lead. It works because the male lead is so quirky, but I hope it gets a little darker because it's a little light right now. Also, I really don't know how I feel about the female lead. If she's the cop in the situation. The first couple episodes, she really threw me off because I don't mind when you're like loud character and you're aggressive and the whole cop mentality, but she was a little too loud for me and a little too aggressive. I think she'll grow on me. I'm partial to Dr. Chin and his personality in general across the board, no matter what the crime drama is. He's a little more reserved, a little more laid back, a little more quirky. She was just so loud compared to his character in this one. It's going to take some getting used to get to her character. I love the actress. This stars Zhao Yu Tong. You might know her from Will Love and Spring from 2024. She plays the loud cop in this one. And I like her as an actor. I don't mind her, but I think it's just the character and how the character is written is just a little too loud for me. The actor in this version who plays Dr. Chin, Zhang Yuzhen. I've seen him in Find Yourself. People might know him from Les Coupes de Foudre. I don't know how you pronounce that in French. He was in The Embers from this year, support role. That's a crime drama. He hadn't done a drama in a couple years come 2025. He has a lot of dramas actually in 2025. Women Walk the Line from 2022. Anyway, I think you would recognize him if you saw him, and he's really quirky. I think he's pulling off the Dr. Chin character quite well. I'm curious to see how he will be, because, for example, compared to how he portrays Dr. Chin to how the guy from Mind Reader, who I also like as an actor, he's way more comedic. He's not as deadpan as the guy from Mind Reader, and he also is a little more quirky than the Mind Reader guy. The Mind Reader guy was just deadpan and very by the book. He's by the book how he took the Dr. Chin character, but he's a lot quirkier. He's more of a germaphobe, has a lot more quirks. He has these one-liners. He's completely serious when he says a one-line, but it's obviously a comedic one-liner. Very different tone when it comes to this. I could see this working for people. I'm enjoying it. I'm not quite sure about the chemistry between the female and the male lead right now. I do love the Dr. Chin of this series so far. So that's Silent Evidence. We'll see how it holds up in terms of the cases and everything. I gave the Mind Reader one an 8 out of 10. So this could also be a solid addition to the series. Maybe a little less. We'll have to wait and see. I'm 5 episodes into it. That is the Chinese dramas I am currently watching. And last but not least, all of the Japanese dramas I'm watching. Due to me obviously clearing off my current watch list in November, I was left with only 3 things on my current watch list for December. And then I added the Dr. Chin one, so technically 4. And that would be a really short episode because right now it's what? 18, 19 minutes into the episode, and I would have ended the episode here. And I didn't want to do that. So I opted to start a bunch of Japanese dramas because I know, one, they're short. I could binge them. I could get some of them done by the end of the year, I think. And 2, one of my goals for 2025, which I think I failed at this point, but 2026 is to watch more Japanese dramas. And there was a lot of good ones in 2025 that a lot of people talked about that I have on my plan to watch list. I started a bunch of 2025 Japanese dramas that people have talked about throughout the year just to add stuff to my watch list so I had stuff to talk about this episode. Most of the Japanese dramas I'm going to mention, I've only watched the first episode. I will give my thoughts on the first episode that I watched. I will, of course, introduce these in case you have not heard of them or have not watched them yourself. I will tell you right now, I'm horrible at pronouncing Japanese names. So I apologize for that. I'm going to butcher most of these names for sure. Another reason why I started a bunch of Japanese dramas is if I don't finish all of them by the end of 2025, they're short enough that I can bring them into 2026 and not be overwhelmed with the amount of dramas I'm coming into 2026 at. Because again, the whole goal of November is to clear off my watch list and kind of keep it small for when the new year starts. So that's all of the reasons why I clicked play on a bunch of Japanese dramas this week. First up, in no particular order, we got the Japanese drama Last Samurai Standing. This is a Netflix production. It's 6 episodes. It premiered on November 13th. I watched the first episode, and from what I got from the first episode, also in terms of the MDL description, I'm not going to read it verbatim because it is a long paragraph. But this takes place in 1878, around the end of the samurai era. The samurai have kind of died out. They're not in their heyday anymore. And the government has basically stripped them of their samurai title and have taken away their swords, and they're really poor and they don't have a place in society anymore. And due to disease ravaging Japan and the wealth gap widening, some ghost entity at this point has taken advantage of these people and have decided to send an invitation out across Japan saying, hey, if you want to participate for a large sum of money, come to this temple at this date at this time. The first episode is all of these people coming to this temple. I think it comes out to be like 250, 300 people from all walks of life. They have no idea what they're walking into. The invitation didn't say anything. They just said, come here if you want to earn a bunch of money. But they didn't tell them how. So they just walk up into this temple, get locked in there, and then get explained the rules. And these people are so desperate. They do give them a chance to say, hey, you have 30 seconds to leave, but we're not going to tell you what you're going to do until you make the decision to stay. Before they were told what they were even have to do to win a lot of money, they were given the decision, hey, you can leave. But if you are still here after 30 seconds, we will tell you the rules, we will tell you what you're here for, whatever, but you aren't allowed to know until you make the decision to stay. Even if these people wanted to leave after finding out that they were in a you will die tournament, they couldn't leave by the time they heard the rules and what they were actually competing. They eventually learn that they are going to be having to steal their opponent's tag. They're given these wooden tags that they are supposed to carry. And the goal is to get them off of other people and keep them on your person. And they're making their way from this tempo to Tokyo, and they have like 6 different stops and checkpoints, and you have to have a certain number of tags at each checkpoint. So, for example, to leave the temple, you had to have 2 wooden tags, which means you had to somehow either kill somebody or steal it off of somebody and get away fast enough where they wouldn't kill you back. If there's a bunch of rules, like one of them is if the tag is off your person, like let's say the rope is cut and it falls off of you, you have 10 seconds to retrieve it or you are going to get killed by whoever's running this game. That's basically the setup. So if you think of like Squid Game or Alice in Borderland, but set in samurai era, you would kind of like essentially get that. And it revolves around this one guy, the main character. His name is Sujiro Saga. He's played by Okada Junichi. He is a old samurai, 40s, 50s, something like that. His family is sick and he needs the money to his family, let alone his village, is all sick from this disease going through Japan, and so he needs the money to cure them. Even though he has PTSD from the time when he was a samurai, he needs to take up his sword and compete in this because he's desperate, along with a bunch of other people. And all of these people have different skills and different weapons and everything like that. That's pretty much the first episode. You just get the whole setup and then you get the first fight and how crazy it's going to be. And let me tell you, it kind of starts off slow because it has a lot of setup to go, but halfway through that first fight starts and you're like, "Oh my god, this is what we're dealing with." It's 6 episodes. I don't know how they're gonna have this story in entire 6 episodes. I for sure think there's gonna be a season 2. The entire first episode is in this temple, and they have a month to get to Tokyo. I think it's a month, month and a half maybe. There's 6 checkpoints. There's no way they're gonna get to Tokyo in 6 episodes. Can already tell there's gonna be some heart-wrenching scenes in this because you have the main guy who I already cried in the first episode. The main guy just fighting for his family. He takes on a child. She's like a teenager, early teenager, 13, 14, 15, something like that. You can already tell there's gonna be this band of people maybe teaming up and someone's gonna die. Like just like Squid Game or just like Alice in Borderland, you try not to fall in love with characters because you have no idea who's gonna die and who's gonna live. And I feel like that is the same case with this one. Beautiful cinematography. Some of the shots into windows or into doorways or sweeping shots of the fight, beautifully done. Already have some badass female characters I can't wait to learn more about. Just given the first fight and how it's shot, I'm looking forward to some insane fight scenes for sure. Trigger warning, of course, for violence, death, fighting, gore. There was a lot, and it goes from like 0 to 100 in 5 seconds. I'm really curious because you do get the setup in episode 1 of there is definitely a rich class happening where they are watching this from afar, just like Squid Game, but they are also not the people who put it together, just like Squid Games. I'm curious who that person is, or just like Alice in Borderland at the same time. If you've seen Squid Game, if you've seen Alice in Borderland, you've seen some of the tropes you're gonna see in this. It's just different because it's in historical Japan. It's not in Tokyo in modern day, or it's not in like a setup that somebody built in Korea somewhere. I think it stands out because of that, because of the setting itself. The whole idea about and concept of the drama is not new. I like the first episode. It is definitely a show for me. I can't wait to watch more. It is crazy how many different characters you are probably going to get to know in this drama, and I like that a lot. The next one that I clicked play on is, of course, the Japanese drama Learning to Love. This was all over social media when it was airing. This is a Japanese drama that aired in July to September. It was one a week. You can watch it on Netflix as well. It's not a Netflix production like Last Samurai Standing, but it is on Netflix. And this is essentially about a woman who is a high school teacher, grew up in a really strict family, and she meets a younger man, 23-year-old, and he is a host at one of these nightclubs. So people come in, pay him money, and he keeps them company. And obviously, most of the patrons are women, so women are paying to have drinks with these really handsome guys in these clubs. And she goes there because she gets a call from her school that a student from her school is in this club, and she's a minor, of course. And so she rushes to this club with a fellow teacher and finds her student there. And so she runs into this host, this 23-year-old host. And the parents of the student want an apology and a promise from the host to never contact the student again in the futures. The first episode is her doing all of this and then hunting the host down to try and get this note done and signed. And it's taking him forever to do this, to like write the note, to sign the note and everything. And she finds out by the end of the episode, it's not like he can't read and write. He just is not very good at it. He had to leave school very early in an early age. I can't remember what the age was. He can barely write and can barely read. By the end of the episode, the first episode, she is teaching him how to write this promise letter to these parents. And sort of getting him to read as well. And I'm really curious how this drama is going to progress. Now, I didn't really know because I saw a lot of people gushing about this and loving this drama when it was airing. And because I'm just watching this now, I kind of don't remember why people liked it so much because I didn't go and read reviews again. I didn't really know what to expect from the first episode. And while I enjoyed the first episode, it did take me a bit to get into it, especially liking the female lead. Because on one hand, I felt bad for her. She came from a very strict household. Her school is like a strict religious school. You could tell her life is not where she wanted it to be, and she's had to deal with a lot in her life, and then her school and her students treat her really badly as well, and I'm hoping that kinda changes. I really am hoping that changes within the school. Maybe it won't, but I think I'll be fulfilled in other aspects if it won't. On the other hand, though, while I felt bad for her, I also felt she was very prickly at first. Yeah, she was going outside of her comfort zone, going into this club and paying to meet this guy in order to get him to write this letter, and going to the club multiple times and obviously getting annoyed that this guy was kind of dodging her to not write this letter, which is all valid, but she was very prickly and very, I don't want to say uptight, but she came off uptight, even towards her students, which again, on one hand, is valid because her students treat her so badly, but on the other hand, it's like, dude, they're kids at the same time. I'm not a teacher though, so who knows? Who knows what I would be in that situation? And props to anybody who's teaching. You could tell she does not like her job. You can tell she's kind of just going through the motions. She's lost that spark of teaching to her students. And so she was a complex, but for me, a rather unlikable character at the beginning of the episode. By the end of the first episode, though, that kind of shifted because by the time she got around to teaching him, this host, to write this letter, you can kind of tell the spark was coming back, and like that is what she will need to find the joy in teaching again. I can see where the direction of this drama is going in terms of that is one of the core things is she's going to find her love of teaching again by teaching this guy. And so by the end of the episode, I can see why people liked her and how she will probably grow on me. With the male lead, I found him quite interesting right away. I mean, I was expecting to go into episode 1 thinking he was like this number 1 big shot host at this club, and maybe I'm wrong on my interpretation, but I felt like he really wasn't, because I remember this scene in episode 1, it was the end of the month, and they were going through all the hosts as this little awards show where they were naming off of like, "Oh, so and so worked hard this month and got 20,000,000 whatever, 20,000,000." Is it yen? Is it yen in Japan? 20,000,000 yen. I mean, that's exaggeration, but this is the amount of money this person won. He's number 1. He's the one that brought in the most money in the club. And he was not in, like, even the top 5, let alone, I don't think even, like, the top 10. My assumption was is he was gonna be this big shot host, and it's very clear he wasn't. You also can tell that he has some trauma and, like, a dark past that I'm excited to learn more about and digest with this. How did he end up in this club? How did he end up being a host? Why can't he read and write? Why did he drop out so early? I'm excited to learn more about him. Off the bat, I have found him a far more interesting character than the female lead, but I think that will change, especially because the female lead clearly grew up in a really, really strict, very strict environment, especially with her father. I can tell I'm not going to like her father very much. But I can't wait to watch more of this. I can't wait to explore their relationship through their teaching, and then hopefully the romance comes in eventually. It's, of course, older woman, younger man romance. I love that dynamic in any drama with romance. I also love how this drama already kind of has a message, even in the first episode, where these hosts who work in this environment, in this club, are also human beings who have ambitions and goals and aren't just these like pieces of meat that people pay to gawk over, you know? Because the number 1 person in the host in this host club. He brought in, I don't know, 10 million yen or something, but he's like getting his doctorate or something like that. He's in college, right? I can already tell that's one of the messages that's gonna be coming up again and again in this drama is like, yes, this is their line of work, but that's not everything that defines them, and what they wanna do in life goes beyond what they do as a job. I like that. I like that idea a lot. I hope we learn more about the supporting characters, like the hosts, for example. I think that will be fun. She also has a really fun friend. I love her friend too. She's a journalist. That was Learning for Love. Next up, we're gonna talk about Lover's Revenge, or I think on Viki it's called The Revenge Lover. I think that's what you find on Viki. I'm watching on Viki. I kind of started it on a whim. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it. It is a 2025 drama. I think it aired in February or so, early 2025, February, March. And sometimes you just need a good tropey J drama, you know? And this one is definitely gonna fit the bill. It stars the same woman who also starred in Yakuza Boss's Beloved, which I'll talk about later. Different male lead. And you got trope galore in this. You got a woman who discovers that her long-term boyfriend of like 3 years or something is cheating on her, and it's like a secret relationship in the office because they both work in the same office. She breaks up with him because she storms out. And then eventually they talk and he kind of breaks up with her. It's kind of a she dumped him first, but then he really dumped her situation. And so she's moping around this office. Obviously, getting dumped sucks. And this new CEO pops up of her company. He is brand new, just got appointed. The CEO notices her right out of the gate. That's the first thing. I find the CEO really intriguing because you can clearly tell that he knows her from somewhere and he thinks she is supposed to know him, but I don't think she remembers him at all. He clearly remembers her from somewhere. He notices that she's moping around this office, dodging her ex-boyfriend because the person that he was having an affair with also works at the office. And I can tell she's going to be a cliche pain in the ass because she's flaunting that she's dating this guy now. And so the CEO approaches the female lead and was like, "Hey, I noticed that your ex works here, and I can tell you're moping around this place because you have to watch him and his affair partner have this relationship in this office. Do you want revenge on them? Do you want to pretend to be in a relationship to get revenge on your boyfriend and pretend to be my girlfriend? Because, hey, me as this CEO, I have this arranged marriage by my parents and I don't want to do it. I want to get away from it. So we should align and have a mutually beneficial fake relationship." And so they basically start a fake relationship. That's how the first episode is. And obviously, that's how tropey it is. I don't know if it will stick the landing. Sometimes the tropes work, man, and this one really worked. It was a fun time. It's also super short. It's like 20 minutes an episode. Have to wait and see. Is it like the best thing I've ever watched in my life? Absolutely not. But again, sometimes you really do appreciate a good tropey J drama. And this is definitely, at least with the first episode, definitely is trope galore. The next one I started, and I don't think a lot of people watch this, but this had been on my radar for a while. It is Miss King. It came out in September. It's a Netflix show. It's on Netflix, I should say. It's not created by Netflix, but it's on Netflix. The reason why this caught my eye is one, it's a revenge drama, and two, the revenge part of it, how this person is probably going to get revenge, hopefully it sticks the landing, was so unique to me. And the person she wants revenge on is really unique. It's a unique revenge setup, right? It's about a woman named Asuka, and all her life she grew up with a mother and father, and her father was a shogi player. And don't ask me what the rules shogi is. I don't know. It looks like a mix between chess and checkers. I could be completely wrong though. I have not done a lot of research into shogi and I'm just going off the first episode. It kind of reminded me of chess and checkers in a way. Wikipedia says shogi is a Japanese chess, a strategic board game between two players. It's the most popular board game in Japan, and it's a historical chess related game where you allow captured pieces to be returned to the board by the capturing player. I'm not going to try to go into all the rules and everything. But it essentially, to me, looked like a mix between chess and checkers. All the pieces are named after chess names like king, rook, bishop, everything like that. So Japanese chess, we'll just go with that. Anyway, so her father was a competitive shogi player, and he at first was kind of an amateur at it. He wasn't really famous. And growing up, he would compete, and his mother was supportive of him. And she grew up like wanting to play shogi. And then eventually, she wants to get revenge on her father because he left them for some reason when she was in elementary school, middle school. She wants to become a master shogi player to play shogi against her father and beat him. That is the entire idea of the drama. Let me tell you, this woman who plays Asuka, on MDL, her name is N-O-N. Her Japanese name fully is Naunen Reina Naunen. Amazing actress. Really good actress. This is the first time I'm watching her. I want to watch her in everything. She's so good. This is like, to me, I've never seen The Queen's Gambit, but this is a mix between like The Queen's Gambit and like Hikaru no Go. So if you liked either one of those shows, you would probably like this Japanese drama. I was enthralled in the first episode. The cinematography, gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. The acting between Nan, she hates her father. Like, absolutely hates her father and is kind of crazy. A little bit nuts. But she's a genius. It was so much fun watching her in this first episode. Also, side note, if you have not seen the Chinese drama Hikaru no Go, I do have a review of that on my podcast, but please go and watch that Chinese drama and also anime, but the anime is quite old, so if you don't want to watch the anime, that's fine. But go and watch the Chinese drama. It's on YouTube now. It's on iQIYI. Go and watch it. It's one of my favorites. Anyway, that's not the point of this. But Miss King, I really, really, really am praying it sticks the landing because the first episode was just so good. It was so good. And you're rooting for her too. Her father, by the end of the first episode, is a jerk. He's an absolute jerk. I wanted to swear more than that, but I won't. He's a jerk. All he wants to win is win, and he leaves everything behind to win. Complete jerk. You root for her. You want her to get revenge. You want her to become this master shogi player to get this revenge. I don't know how they're going to pull off this full revenge in 8 episodes, though. Because if it's like Hikaru no Go or Queen's Gambit or any of those like tournament-based shows where you have to go through certain matches and finally get to the big boss by the end, she has a large learning curve to do in 8 episodes. I don't know how they're going to pull that off. I would not be surprised if this has a season 2 and it ends on a cliffhanger. I don't know. Because she isn't even currently in episode 1, doesn't even play shogi, even as an amateur level, because she stopped playing shogi because she hates her father so much, and she stopped playing when she was like in middle school. So I don't know how that's gonna happen in 8 episodes. Either way, though, amazing first episode. Amazing first episode. I loved it so much. I can't go on and on about praising this Japanese drama, but Miss King, great first episode. Totally gonna watch more of it. I can't wait. All right, we have 2 more Japanese dramas. No, 3 more, sorry. Next one I clicked play on was Romantics Anonymous. I've talked about this one a little bit before, and I'm sure a lot of other people know about it. This is one of those Korea-Japan mixed dramas. We have a Korean actress, Han Ho-ju, stars in it, and then the male lead is Oguro Shun, both veteran actors in their own right and phenomenal actor and actress in my opinion. I like the first episode of this Japanese drama better than I thought I would. This is about a woman who obviously is Korean. She goes to Japan to study chocolatiering to be a chocolate maker, and she's very, very, very talented in it. And because she's been studying it for years and years and years after her mother passed away. And she worked with the owner of this famous chocolate shop in Japan secretly. She concealed her identity from everybody except the owner because she has trouble with social interaction. She can't look anybody in the eye and gets a lot of anxiety. So because she's so talented in making chocolate, the owner of this chocolate shop was able to work on her terms with getting her chocolate, but she never had to come to the shop, never had to interact with people. She could do it by herself. And that was an agreement that they had. And then the male lead comes in after the owner dies and he buys up the chocolate shop, and he is the son of this CEO chocolate conglomerate. They buy up this chocolate shop and he's the new representative of this like huge company in Japan. And he wants to find this famous chocolatier who doesn't show her face and kind of demands that she comes to the shop. And she does, but she lies and says that she's looking for a job. He doesn't know she's this famous chocolatier. She somehow ends up working in this shop. It's going to be an interesting thing to watch of her having to come to work as I'm assuming she's going to be a waitress or something and conceal that she's this really, really good chocolate maker, but also deal with her social anxiety. And then he is a germaphobe, like really, really, really cannot physically touch anybody germaphobe for a very sad reason that got touched on in episode 1. I'm excited to see how they progress in their relationship, but also in their own individual growth to fight against these disorders that they have, these anxiety disorders that they have. I think it's going to be cute. I think it's going to be like, it's definitely food porn because those chocolate looks delicious. Apparently, Han Hyo-ju studied making chocolate for a while to do this drama. Also, she speaks Japanese in this, and she sounds pretty good to me. Apparently, she studied very hard studying Japanese for this as well. I'm excited to see how these two leads get together, how their relationship progresses, because I can tell that once the man figures out that she also has this social disorder, I feel like they are going to support each other in a way that they haven't been able to feel supported by anybody else. Another interesting thing is both of these people, these leads, have contacted the same psychologist to help with their disorder. So I'm sure they're going to run into each other there as well. And the psychologist is definitely going to be, I'm assuming, going to be, I guess, the second female lead in it. And then there's this, I think he's a bartender, maybe a bar owner. And then you have a ensemble cast with this restaurant and everything that's probably going to be cute as well. But if you're a foodie alone, you should watch this for the chocolate. So I enjoyed it. I think I can see why a lot of people enjoyed it too. Again, I did not know what to expect from this because it could have gone either way for me. I could have really liked it, or I don't know if this is for me. Good thing is, it was kind of for me. Some of it I think I can predict. There's some tropes already in play in episode 1 that I can probably predict what's happening, but I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Next up, we have, of course, Yakuza Boss's Beloved. I've mentioned this before. I will reiterate what this is. This is a Japanese drama aired in July, and it's on Viki now after months of it not being anywhere. 8 episodes, and it is about a woman who works in this advertising agency. Again, kind of the same setup as the Revenge Lover, same actress too, which I didn't realize was the case until I started the Revenge Lover. So she has this boyfriend that she's been living with for a really long time, and again finds out that he's cheating on her. The person works in the same office, basically the same setup as the Revenge Lover. They also live together. So when they break up, she also loses her house and where she's going to live. And her boss, his nickname at the work is Yakuza Boss because he is one of those people who is very by the book. He's kind of scary at the office. So people always nickname him the Yakuza Boss as a joke because he's very cold at the office. And he finds her and is like, hey, you can stay with me, which is very unexpected. She ends up living at this guy's house while she finds a new place. And I already binged like 3 episodes of this. It was addicting for sure. You come to find out though that he is absolutely definitely a hidden young boss of a yakuza gang. Like it's not a joke. He actually is a boss of a yakuza gang eventually. You can also tell he likes her and he's liked her for a while, but obviously because she was in this long-term relationship, he didn't do anything. So now he's kind of taken the opportunity knowing that she was broken up with and has no home. I've said this before. I'm so excited to finally watch this J drama. The amount of TikTok edits I saw of this when it was airing, it killed me that I couldn't watch it when it aired because it was nowhere to be found, and then Vicky picked it up 3 months later. I was so happy when they did that. As I said, I binged the first 3 episodes of this. Plot, it's not the deepest plot ever, it's not gonna be mind-blowing or anything. I'm okay with that, though. I'm basically just watching this for the main couple and just for them and for the tropes. Again, this is another trope one that I'm all here for. It's not going to be a masterpiece. It's obviously lower budget than some of the other J dramas I've been talking about on this episode, but I'm having so much fun with it. The main leads are everything. I think they complement each other so well, and there is really something satisfying about the trope of the male lead coming to the rescue to the female lead, which he has done a lot in the first 3 episodes. I will say the female lead is very timid and has a very low self-esteem due to this relationship she was in. So that might not be everybody's cup of tea. I can see where that might be annoying, especially if it lasts the entire drama or almost the entire drama, which I foresee that may be happening because this is only 8 episodes long. But this would definitely be a cute binge for the end of the year. I will definitely be binging this. It's not like the best drama I've ever watched in my life, but I don't know, it hits the sweet spot. There's something there that just like clicks and is really fun to watch. I love both leads. Like the actress who plays the female lead, she's cute. She definitely, yes, has low self-esteem, but there's something there that is really endearing. And then the male lead, my God, he is everything you want in a like cold male lead trope heavy J drama. Like he's everything. But he's also really nice. I mean, at the same time, specifically to her, but he's really nice at the same time. Also, you have the very tropey, horrible ex and horrible woman he's having an affair with. If you watched, what is that variety show? If you watched Offline Love from this year, you have an actress you will remember from that show. Nanami from Offline Love is an actress in this drama as well, which was a lot of fun to run across because I didn't think that she would be in this drama. Anyway, I could go on and on about Yakuza Boss. There's something there that I really, really am enjoying. And I know that might be crazy to some people because, again, normally this might not work for me, but Japanese romance dramas, man, I don't know what it is, but I love them when they are tropey sometimes. Okay, and then last but not least, the last one that I clicked play on is an older Japanese drama, and I wanted to watch this for a very specific reason. This is the only older Japanese drama not 2025 Japanese drama I'm watching, and it's been on my plan to watch list for a while. And the reason why I clicked play on it was because I heard this year that China's going to be doing a remake of this drama, and I want to watch the remake. But I wanted to watch Japanese drama first, and that is Unnatural. This is one of the top Japanese dramas everybody talks about, and everybody says you need to watch this one because it's so good. It's from 2018, and it is about an institute. It's called the Unnatural Death Institute, or UDI, and it's an institute where if you have a death that seems unnatural, seems weird, you don't think the police got it right, you can come to this institute and hire this team to reinvestigate these deaths. And that's essentially what happened in the first episode is you had a couple, parents, who wanted their son or daughters, I think it was son's death reinvestigated because it didn't seem right. So it stars Ishihara Satumi. So if you saw Pretty Proofreader, you would recognize her. I like her a lot. Or 5 to 9 from 9 to 5, really classic J drama as well. It also stars Irurata. I don't know if I've ever seen him in another drama. before, but he's an older actor. He's like in his 50s. And then, of course, Masataka. He's a really, really famous Japanese actor. I seen him in that Sherlock Holmes one I watched a couple years back. But he's been acting for a really long time. Legal High, he was in High and Low, Criminologist Homura, and mystery writer Arisugawa. That's what I watched him in first. I mean, you would recognize him. He's really, really well known. Along with a bunch of other a team of coroners across two different teams. So it's a bunch of people, an ensemble cast, all investigating these sudden deaths. It does revolve around Ishihara Satomi's character more, but two main coroners and then their teams. As I said, I wanted to watch this because China's doing a remake of it, and I really want to watch the remake. And again, this has been on my plan to watch list for a while. I can tell it's going to be a really impactful drama. The first episode had twists and turns, and yes, it was a mystery. I wouldn't say it's like a dark crime mystery. You do have autopsies and stuff in it, so it might be a little trigger warning with like gore a little bit and everything, but the mystery crime part is not the point of the show. It's more of like making sure that the people being reinvestigated, like the people who have died, have a voice and the coroners tell their voice and make sure they turn over every leaf and make sure they get the messaging across that needs to happen and discover what actually happened with these sudden deaths or misled deaths or wrongful deaths, whatever it is. You could tell it's going to be a more human story versus a we need to catch the killer story. There might be a case of that. The first episode did not have a killer, it had something else. I'm not going to tell you what, but it has a very real human message to it that I like a lot. And I hope continues. The setup of the team, as I said, was different than what I was expecting. I assumed there was going to be one main corner, which I assumed was going to be Ura Harata's character, the older 50-something-year-old guy, and he still seems like one of the higher up coroner people, and I assumed Ishihara Satomi was gonna be his assistant or something. That's really not the case. What this is like, it's them 2 at the top, and then everybody else kind of splits off and helps them both in whatever case they have. And they kind of go head to head. They sort of don't like each other, but they sort of will help each other out at the same time. So it's still a teacher student situation because Ishihara Satumi is a lot younger than the 50-something-year-old coroner. So she still goes to him for advice and things. But on a level of hierarchy in terms of the job, they're at the same level in a way. That's my interpretation of it. So I wasn't really expecting that setup. It's kind of like two teams all working in the same institute and they kind of rotate and switch around a lot. The one thing I will say, I am not sure about Kabuto Masataka's character. He's one of the newbie coroners that started in episode 1. Something's off with him. I don't know what it is. He seems really fishy, and I really don't know. First off, this whole institute is about being coroner stuff. It's not like this is one department in the institute. The whole entire idea of the institute is you are reinvestigating these deaths. So he comes in and he hates working with dead people. He'd rather be a doctor. And I'm like, why not go be a doctor then? Like, why be a coroner? Right. And then he asks all of these really prying questions that either the police should ask or even, I don't know, reporters should ask. It seemed really rude questions, which on one hand somewhat helped the first case in the first episode, but other, I was just like, what is the deal with this guy? Also, FYI, if people might not like his character, he makes some very, very derogatory comments to his friends about women in general. I was like, ooh, people might not like his character for that. So maybe it's a growth thing. I'm really not sure. I feel really fishy about his character, like something's off. I'm not sure about it. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, he also makes like some sexist comments that people might not like. I don't know. Also, MIU 404, which is also another Japanese drama on Netflix, is apparently in the same universe as this. I did not know that. It's another crime Japanese drama that's been on my list forever. And then last thing I'll say about Unnatural, one of my favorite J-pop songs of all time is the OST of this drama, so I'm very excited about that. That was Unnatural. I liked the first episode a lot. It was a lot more heartwarming and human message impactful than I assumed it was gonna be. We'll see how I like it. So that is everything I'm currently watching. Hopefully, I will get the Dr. Chin one off my current watch list by the end of the year, and also some of the other J dramas. Okay, so now, as we always do at the end of the episode, I'm going to talk about some things I'm adding to my current watch list very soon, whether that's next week or next month. So, next week, Culinary Class Wars Season 2 starts. I'm absolutely adding that to my watch list and will be watching it as it airs because I think I've just decided I can't wait and I don't want to be spoiled. So, I'm going to try and keep up with that and watch it as it airs. It's one episode a week, so hopefully I think that will be easy for me. Same with The Boyfriend, the Japanese dating variety show. That is coming back in the middle of January next year, and I for sure am also going to be watching it as it airs because I will for sure also be spoiled on that if I don't. So those are things I think I will absolutely be watching as they air. Everything else I'm going to start either when they end or very, very close to the end. I also plan on starting Vendetta of On. I think that ends early January. It's like 28 episodes. It's on Netflix. Taxi Driver season 3 ends in January. I plan to watch that. Those are like the two that are airing currently. I plan to start right away in January. Some of the other things I want to watch and start either in January or very close to the beginning of the year. I want to start the Chinese drama The Bond due to a series that I kind of want to do and start on the podcast, hopefully next year, but it might be 2027. We'll have to wait and see. Blossom, I finally am just gonna start it and watch it because I've been talking about watching it for 3 years at this point, 2 years at this point. Under the Skin season 2, it's kind of the same situation with Taxi Driver season 3. I've seen all of the other prior seasons. For example, with Weak Hero, I haven't seen season 1, so I need to watch season 1 and season 2. Whereas Under the Skin season 1 I've already seen. I think I might as well try and keep up and watch season 2. Same with Taxi Driver. I've seen the first 2 seasons, so I can just watch season 3. I also want to start Legend of Zonghai again due to a series I plan to release hopefully in the end of 2026, maybe 2027, but it's going to be a long thing that I have to watch for the entirety of 2026. So I want to start that early in 2026. There's a Chinese drama that is rumored for January. I do not have a release date. It's rumored for January. It also is rumored it might be 2 parts because it's a long one that they might have to chop up. I'm not sure. Swords into Plowshares. Bayou stars in it, and I love Bayou. I definitely want to start that. I probably won't start it until after it aired or has significant episodes already out or at least figured out when it's premiering or if it's going to be into 2 parts. I don't know, but that's going to be one I want to start. And then The Judge Returns is a new K-drama coming out in January, like January 2nd, that I plan to watch. In January right now, I only have 1, maybe 2 Korean dramas I want to watch that are coming out in January. One is The Judge Returns. The second is Positively Yours. It's supposedly airing January 17th, and this sounds like a tropey good time, maybe. It stars Choi Jun-hyuk and Oh Yeon-soo. Hong Jung-hyun is probably a second male lead, and Kim Da-sam is the second female lead, I'm assuming. This is like a reverse office romance. Apparently, the female and male lead have a one-night stand and they have to get married due to, I think the female lead gets pregnant, but I can't remember the synopsis. Either way, that sounds like it might be a good time. I don't know. I might start it, I might not, but that and The Judge Returns are the only 2 I'm really interested in January. So we'll have to see if either one come to a streaming service and if I actually click play on them whenever they end, which will probably be February. Maybe I'll start them in February after a couple episodes are out. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what I'm watching or what I start in January and what other dramas in January from China, Japan, Thailand drop or whatever. But those are some of the dramas I do plan on starting in the rest of December/January. And that is the end of the episode. I am glad that we have another watch list episode to listen to. Hopefully, this is not too long for you guys. I honestly didn't think this would be as long as it was, but apparently, I talked your ear off about dramas that I'm currently watching and plan to watch. And hey, everybody likes a good watch list podcast episode for sure. So, what are you currently watching? What are you excited for? Do you have anything that you can't wait to start? Anything I should click play on? There's a lot of 2025 dramas I need to still watch, but that's okay. Thank you for listening. This is my December watch list episode, and I'll see you in the next watch list episode in January. Bye. If you want to continue the conversations about dramas that were started in this episode, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky under the username No Sleep for Dramas. That is No Sleep, the number 4 dramas, just like in the title of the podcast. This podcast is also an expansion of my blog, so you can visit my blog at www.nosleepfordramas.com, the number 4 dramas.com, and find multiple years of blog posts already available at your fingertips. All links are in the description of this episode. Finally, please give this podcast a like or a follow wherever you listen to the podcast. Leaving a comment or a review also helps a lot. We love hearing ideas and feedback from all of you. Share the podcast with your friends as well. Thank you for listening. This has been an episode of the No Sleep for Dramas podcast, and I am your host, Caitlin. I will see you here next time, and I hope you get no sleep chasing the next episode just like me. Good night.